Hi friends, Amy Astrab with Ad Astra Stamping. I'm going to be doing the paper pumpkin kit for January 2021 called Sending Hearts. Here is what they are suggesting for the card making for this month. So we're going to turn the camera down on how to assemble this card kit per the directions. So we've got our directions, which are on the inside of this little fold out. So this is what I will be referring to and what you would refer to if you got the kit. This is where you'll look to find your instructions, both written and by picture. You'll notice that down here at the bottom, they have a very handy little measuring guide, so you don't even have to have a ruler out. You will want to have some scissors and possibly some glue and of course your acrylic block to do this kit. I like to do my stamping on a foam board. So this is just a piece of foam board that I have gone to Hobby Lobby or Walmart or a similar type store and purchased just one of those foam craft boards. I've cut it down to make it a smaller, more usable size. And I like to just put that right under my paper working surface. It gives a little bit of cushion for the stamps to give a good, clear image when they are stamped. So I've got things laid out here. Pardon my mess. Rather than open up the little ink spot that came with this month's kit, I'm going to use my full-size pad in the same color. So that is Poppy Parade. I am going to save mine for either giving as a gift to someone or possibly for when I travel, because occasionally we do go on the road and I like to take my paper pumpkins with me. It gives me a chance to craft and create when I'm even away from home. So that's my tip to you on that. If you've got the full-size pads, save these for travel or to get somebody else crafting. So the first card I think we will start with today is going to be the heart card. And so I'm going to lay this other one to the side and get just the things I need for this card here. So this card here uses the striped base, and I am going to say this is Petal Pink. The instructions should tell us all of the coordinating colors. So let me take a peek at that. Yes, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, Smoky Slate, Basic Black, Gold Foil, and White are the coordinating colors for this kit. So this is Blushing Bride striped card base. I have already taken and folded that in half. I am going to go ahead and score that with a bone folder to give it a nice crisp closure. It will stay laying a little flatter this way while we work. Before I mount anything on that though, I'm going to take this heart image that came in the kit, and I've already put the heart stamp onto a block previous to taping. So what I'm going to do, I like to take and give these a good wiping, cleaning before I use them for the first time. And what that does is it just gets any manufacturing oils off of there so that when you ink these up, you get a better coating of ink on your stamp. And I like a practice run before I put it on my actual cardstock. Oh yes, I think that's pretty good. It's a little light in this area, so I am going to ink that up and try it one more time. Make sure that there's no issues before I put it on my solid piece, because it may just have been that I did not press firmly enough and I pushed it down. I like to give it a minute for that ink to soak in. So yeah, I think it was just a matter of me. That area is a little lighter here rather than up here. So be sure when you do this larger stamp that you give it time to soak in, to the cardstock and that you are giving firm pressure evenly in all areas before you pick your stamp up. So let's give it a good inking, and we're going to go ahead and stamp our image. Hopefully my head is not in the way of the camera. So these clear blocks and these clear stamps, these photopolymer stamps are clear, and I like them because you can see exactly where you're putting your stamp on your paper. So when we're inking up and stamping inside of an image like this one, voila, perfect placement for the stamp. Very happy with that. I'm glad I played with it a little bit first. Now we are going to go ahead and do a little bit more stamping. This particular card is also going to have a little U that we are going to stamp on a tiny piece. The love is a pre-cut that we will be punching out. So we're going to go ahead and stamp the U, which I also have put on a block. I did not put it on a paper pumpkin block. I am using one of my regular Stampin' Up! Blocks for that, just for ease of use. So we've got our tiny little punch out that we got with this kit. I have pre-cleaned and pre-inked this stamp, and I'm just going to place that on there right in the center as best that I can. And I am happy with that. Now, if for some reason I had messed that up, I would just be flipping it over and re-stamping on the back, but I am happy with how that turned out. So we are going to use as is. And what we are going to do now is we're going to take our word love. We can go ahead and get ready to adhere that and this, but first, we do want to add some ribbon to this. According to the instructions, there is a piece of ribbon that's going to run across this panel. So I am going to go ahead and tie that ribbon on now, and then we will pop our words on there. Now they are suggesting in the directions that you cut 15 inches of ribbon, wrap once around the card front, and tie a bow. I did not do 15 inches of ribbon. I did more like 10 inches of ribbon. 15 just seemed like way more than was necessary, and I like to have leftovers so that I can use it to do something else. I think 10 is going to be plenty for me, but if you have a hard time tying bows or need a little extra to get things accomplished the way you want them, by all means, their recommendation is 15 inches. I am not great at bow tying. I will give you that right now. And it seems like everybody, when they get on camera, has an even more difficult time tying a bow. So give me a quick minute here, and we will try to get this done. This is where a little longer ribbon might give you the advantage. But like I said, I think 10 inches is plenty sufficient for the size of bow that I want to accomplish. So that's what we're going to work with. Yes. All right. I'm just going to give that a little tug and get that the way I want it. Okay. And they are showing, yes, that it is off to this side of the heart. Might just adjust that a hair so that's a little further over. There we go. And they are showing it a little lower, so we'll go just a little lower. Now I may trim the ends of my bow up yet. In fact, I'm going to fuss with it a little bit here. Let me get it the way I want it. All right, now the love and you appear to be popped up with dimensionals. I'm going to refer to my directions here. Yes, adhere with adhesive dots or dimensionals. So you could go with a flatter card and use these adhesive dots that come in the packaging. They're going to keep everything nice and flat. I like some dimension to mine. I am going to use the dimensionals. I already had some open, so I am using the ones I already had open rather than starting a new sheet of dimensionals that came with this kit. So I am going to just pop about 2 or 3 on here. And then I think what I am going to do is use, since I'm popping the word love up, I think I will keep the U flat because it goes kind of right along the bottom here. So I think what I am going to do is use those adhesive dots and keep that flat. So I will just place them on here. And we'll take off that adhesive, that backing, and go ahead and stick that down like so. And now we can pop it right in place. Now, my preference on taking the backs off of these two-sided sticky dimensionals is to just use fingernails. Some of the demonstrators, however, use their take your pick tool, which is this gadget here. I do love this. I don't love it for taking backing off. I just have not gotten the hang of that at all. So I am happy with that. We've got a couple more things to do here. We've got these beautiful resin hearts that are sticky back, and they will add a little accent to this as well. So I think I'm going to save the larger ones, but I do want to put a couple of these smaller ones in here. I think we'll go over here with one. Now these are the Blushing Bride, and they coordinate with the little flowers and hearts that you are seeing over here. And there are some little flowers as well. We may just go ahead and pop some of those on here too. I think we will make that one pop up. And I think I am going to add one right there. All right. Now that is kind of up to your discretion where you want to place those. The next thing we need to add is the little black scallop that they have at the bottom of this panel. These are little punch outs that come with the kit. So what I am going to do with this, if you have a tape runner or some glue, it will work fine. You can take and adhere it like that, or you can use the adhesive dots that come with it. I think for myself, I prefer to use the glue. I'm going to run just a tiny little bead of glue right at the very bottom of this panel. And I am going to just pop that underneath like so. I like the glue because it gives me a little bit of time for wiggle room and playing with how I want that to be before it's permanently adhered. But that, again, is really a choice that you can make. Now, I am going to glue this flat on to our card base. I could add some dimension to it and pop it up where I can glue it down flat. really the preference is yours. And actually, I think it would be a lot of fun to pop that up. So I am going to go ahead. They give you plenty of dimensionals in these kits. So I'm going to add some extra dimension by popping this up with these dimensionals. And I am fairly generous with my dimensionals. You'll want to put some towards the middle of this large of an area so that you have good coverage all the way through. In fact, I think I'm even going to pop some here and here. So while it is a little bit more work, these are going to go through the mail a whole lot better if I have a little bit more backing on here. So don't be afraid to use your dimensionals pretty generously. They will also help hold this panel to the card really well because that is what we're adhering with. And I'm just going to pop that right down in the middle. Now these, you want to make sure that your panel is pretty centered up before you stick it down because those dimensionals are fairly sticky, and once you put it down, it's pretty much there to stay. So that is card number 1. The only thing left to do now is to take my snips and trim up the ribbon. And that card is complete. And I think it's quite adorable, just the way it is. So I love how this turned out. We've got a beautiful red envelope to go with it. And it is ready to send out to somebody special. Now the next card we're going to do in this kit has this beautiful decorated Poppy Parade background. Again, I'm going to use my bone folder to give it a nice crease so it lays good and flat while I work on it. I'm going to bring in this element here, which is this cute little post box. It's got also the scalloped edge like the other one did. And it appears that the way they are putting this together, their suggested use of it, it's going to go down the folded side of the card with the mailbox opening up to it. And I think for this one, since we are not doing any stamping directly on here, I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. They can be sitting and getting good and adhered while we're stamping our other element. Now the beautiful thing is you've got instructions on how they suggest you put this card together, but you could certainly go your own course. If you didn't want the scalloped edge on this side, you could totally put it on this side. So it's really a matter of your preference. You get to have a little creative ability with these kits, and that's the fabulous part. We're going to lay that to the side, and we are going to get our stamp and go ahead and ink it up and get this one going. This one's going to get the Sending Love Your Way, which will look really cute with the little post office box. Now again, my hint is go ahead, once you get these blocked up, go ahead and give them a quick cleaning with your chamois or whatever you clean your stamps with to get any residue and oil and whatnot off of your stamp before you ink and use it for the first time. I'm going to give this a trial run real quick. Yep, it's stamping really well. I'm going to ink it up and go ahead and stamp our sentiment on here. Okay, nice clean stamp. Happy with how that turned out. Now they are showing a little piece of black ribbon tied in a bow off to the side of the mailbox just underneath this sentiment, which is just partway down on the flag or the mailbox post. So this one's a lot quicker and easier to put together than the other. I think we will go ahead and adhere this directly down to the card base. Again, you could use the adhesive dots. I just really prefer glue, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to our card base. Like so. Close that ink pad before I lay my hand in it. And I've pre-tied a bow. Now mine is a little smaller than what they're showing. They use a much larger piece of ribbon. You can see mine's not tied and trimmed up yet, but I think I might want to go with a larger bow myself. So I'm going to untie this. If I can't get as big of a bow as I want out of this piece, I may have to cut another one. I cut this one to 5 inches, so it's not a real big piece of ribbon. It is a little easier to tie when you're not trying to tie it around something. So we'll give this a quick play and see what we can come up with here. Now this is another time when, if you have a pick or the take your pick tool, you can kind of fish that loop through there a little easier. And again, I've come out with it way longer on one side than on the other, but I still think I'm a little happier with it this way. So what I'm going to do then is I am going to snip the excess off. I'm going to take a glue dot and go ahead and get this stuck down over here to the side, I believe. Go ahead and get that stuck down. Now, if you wanted to be sure that wasn't going to come off, you could put a couple more glue dots. I think it's going to hold just fine. So the next thing we're going to need to do then is take some of our dimensionals, and we're going to pop this sentiment up right there near that ribbon. You could use 3. I think 2 is going to be sufficient to hold this in place on our card. So I think I'm going to pop it down right about there. And there is our second card, all finished, ready to send out. Again, we have a coordinating red envelope ready to be addressed and sent to somebody I love. So that is a demonstration of the January 2021 Sending Hearts Paper Pumpkin Card Kit. Hope you've enjoyed these instructions, found them useful. I intend to make some alternative cards as well, and hope to be back on here soon to show those to you. Follow me on my Facebook page, and I hope you'll